Earlier this year, I spent 30 days in England's most pagan town, Glastonbury. And while spending time here, I decided to try to challenge myself to live the most spiritual life possible. And one of the reasons I chose Glastonbury as the location for this, and to spend 30 days, despite it being a very small town, is because of a place called the White Springs. The White Springs is a place I visited around a year ago, and it completely took me away. Now, while its history goes back for, a few hundred years, and there's potentials of it being used in the ancient pagan times, well, the structure that exists there now is relatively modern. However, the space that exists inside is extremely sacred, powerful, and healing.
Biggest aspect of the White Springs that I appreciate is having a sacred space to go to when life was difficult. And actually a lot of solutions to problems I've had, I've figured out here. And so having that space, and obviously this is something that a lot of spiritual people struggle with, especially those on the pagan persuasion of things, is we don't necessarily have sacred spaces everywhere you can go to.
The location for this video is chosen for a reason, because this is a place where I'm originally from in Lexington, Kentucky, and I'm back here to visit some family. And so the place I'm sharing with you today is one of the places that I go to in order to have a sacred space and perform rituals and just reflect and meditate and give gratitude to the natural world. And I really wish that everyone had access to a place like White Springs because it was such a magical experience. But the reality is that only 7,000 people get to live near the White Springs, and the rest of us have to live elsewhere in the world. And so in this video, I want to talk about the importance of ritual and sacred spaces, because this is something that I learned in my 30 days in Glastonbury that was so very important. So that's a really long intro, but I hope you enjoyed this video exploring ritual and sacred spaces and why they're important to living a more spiritual life.
Hey look, it's a spring, just not the White Springs. Having the White Springs only 20-minute walk away from where I was staying was such a powerful thing to have. And we're definitely going to get into how you can have that no matter where you are in the world. But what I learned from having a sacred space so close is that, especially going to it every day, we all have good and bad days. YouTubers that travel the world do as well. And so I'd have days that I was super grateful and super happy. And I was happy to have that sacred space to go to and pray and say, thank you so much, gods. Thank you so many spirits for having these great days. And to have that moment of gratitude, I think was really important, and having that space to reflect upon that. But also on the bad days. In fact, I think the bad days were even more important to have this sacred space, to have this place lit by candles of, the springs running through. I mean, I really wish I could have video for you, but I understand the sacredness. I only have these few pictures that are available online. But having that kind of space is so amazing. I had some bad days. Like April, when I was in Glastonbury, was a hard time. And I just had a lot of stuff happening. A lot of depression, a lot of anxiety when I first got there. And those first few weeks of going to the White Springs, especially on those hard days, and just crying at the altars to the gods, crying and going into the cold water, that was so powerful. And it was such a healing place for me. And I want that for everyone. But again, not everyone can live near the White Springs. But also not just on the extreme days, but also the days I was kind of like, we all have those days where you wake up and you're kind of like, life. And going to the White Springs, having that sacred space to go to on the days was really nice, because it turned the days into something special, to actually have a moment of reflection, to have a moment of meditation and trying to figure out why I'm feeling, it didn't necessarily make me like ecstatic afterwards. But again, having that kind of space was just so very important on days like that. By the way, did you know that I wrote a book, and it's about my time in Glastonbury? You should check it out. It's called A Glastonbury Tourist, and it's out now on Amazon, and I think it's a really amazing read. It's my second book I've written. I've come a long way as a writer, I feel, and it's a much more mature story than the first one that I wrote. This one's about my time in Glastonbury, but from a fictional lens. It's still about a lot of the lessons I've learned, not only there, but also all around the world. And so I hope you check it out. I think you'll really be entertained by it. There's some amazing characters. But also you're helping support this channel along the way.
Now this water, at the end of the day, is just water. As far as I know, there's no special properties, like if you do a scientific study, this is just water. And so you can find any type of spring or natural reservoir of water where you're from and go there and maintain its sacredness. I mean, that's the main thing here. It's someone maintaining the sacred space. So find somewhere near you, like a spring or a waterway or like a beautiful stream, and maintain its sacredness. Go there, clean up the trash, sing to it, pray to it, meditate there. You know, leave offerings as well. You know, people leave all kinds of flowers and stuff like that here. And so I think you can make any place near you a sacred spring, so to speak, or at least a sacred place where you can get, you know, reflect, you can meditate.
You can have just as powerful as a sacred space as the White Springs in Glastonbury right where you live. And it doesn't even have to be a park like this. If you don't have something like this nearby to you, create it. Find a tree grove, find a waterfall, a spring, a creek, a river, a stalk of corn, it doesn't matter. Wherever you feel connected to the gods, to the spirits, go there and maintain the space. And it doesn't have to be small, it doesn't have to be like a little corner like you're trying to hide it. It's nature. Nature is vast, especially for people in North America. And so find a grove and clean it up from trash, clean it up from debris. Light candles, leave offerings there, build idols to the gods there, build shrines there, and create a space, a big space, do it. Like I want to see more sacred groves. I have another video talking about the wishing trees, the cluties that hang from trees for wishes. You know, hang some cluties there and go back often and take people there. And if you have anyone in your area that is also spiritual or pagan, you can also share that space with them. And so maybe you can combine a space together, invite more people into it, and have rituals, have events there. Start small and let it grow, just like the White Springs did, and just like the sacred groves and places I've experienced all around the world. And just for all the reasons I've listed in this video, it will help you stay connected. It'll give you a place of peace, and it'll give you a place to, you know, to cry, to be at one with the gods. We all need this. One of the reasons so many people get into paganism is because our temples are not these buildings. Our temples are nature. Our temples are sacred groves. And that's how it was in the ancient past, and it's how it can be for you now. And so you just got to get out there, find the space for you, and maintain it. And I think you'll be so amazed at what you feel as you build that relationship with that space and continue to maintain it over the years. But thank you so very much for joining me for this video. I have so many exciting things coming, and so make sure you subscribe for all things ancient and modern, spiritual, recreation, and all this stuff. Thank you so very much, and I'll see you in the next video here at the Wisdom of Odin.